This earthquake left Nepal in shock. Natural disaster Nepal 2015. A nation is thrown to its knees as buildings crumble and people scream in terror. How was it that a single earthquake could startle the entire nation of Nepal? Come with us as we investigate the 2015 natural disaster that altered the face of this hardy Himalayan nation forever. The Nepal earthquake of 2015, also known as the Gorkha earthquake, was a devastating natural disaster that occurred on April 25, 2015, close to the capital city of Kathmandu in central Nepal. More than 600,000 buildings in Kathmandu and other adjacent cities were either damaged or destroyed, resulting in the deaths of around 9,000 people and the injuries of many thousands more. In addition to the southern parts of the plateau of Tibet and western Bhutan, the earthquake was felt over the majority of central and eastern Nepal, as well as a significant portion of the Ganges River Plain in northern India and northwestern Bangladesh. The first shock, which had a magnitude of 7.8, occurred just before local noontime. Its epicenter was around 21 miles east-southeast of Lamjung, and it was approximately 48 miles northwest of Kathmandu. The focus of the earthquake was approximately 9.3 miles underground. The earthquake and its aftershocks were caused by thrust faulting, also known as compression-driven fracture, which occurred in the Indus-Yarlung suture zone. This zone is a thin east-west section that roughly spans the length of the Himalayan peaks. The earthquake released some of the pressure it had been building up between the Indian sector of the Indo-Australian Plate and the Eurasian Tectonic Plate, which is the Indian segment of the Indo-Australian Plate subducts, into place. The Himalayas are sinking at an average pace of 1.6 to 2 inches each year due to the process of subduction. The Himalayan mountains gain more than 0.4 inches or about 1 centimeter in height due to the tectonic action that occurs there each year. Despite the fact that the Himalayan region is one of the most seismically active in the world, big earthquakes have only seldom happened there. The most recent major earthquake, meaning one with a magnitude of 6.0 or above, occurred in 1988. This was followed by the quake that occurred in 2015. The earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9 was responsible for the deaths of 1,500 people. However, in 1934, a magnitude 8.0 earthquake was responsible for the deaths of around 10,600 people. The death toll from the earthquake that occurred early in the morning was initially reported to be in the hundreds. However, as the day progressed, indications indicated that the total number of fatalities had surpassed 1,000 and was getting close to 1,900 by the end of the day. Within 2 weeks of the primary earthquake's epicenter, all the earthquake zone's outlying communities had been visited by search and rescue teams, and a clearer picture of the earthquake's toll on human life had begun to take shape. It had been proven that the earthquake caused the lives of roughly 9,000 people to be extinguished, and this number includes the deaths that occurred in neighboring parts of India, China, and Bangladesh, as well as almost 16,800 injuries and the displacement of approximately 2.8 million people. According to a report by the United Nations, the catastrophe and its aftermath had an impact on the lives of more than 8 million people in Nepal, which is more than 1/4 of the country's total population. The earthquake caused landslides, which wreaked havoc on rural communities, as well as some of the most heavily inhabited areas of Kathmandu city. Initial estimates place the cost of the destruction between $5 and $10 billion. Bricks and other debris from the buildings that had been completely or partially collapsed were strewn across the streets of Kathmandu city center. These buildings included portions of the well-known Taleju Temple, as well as the entire 9-story Dharahara Tower. Additionally, the earthquake caused an avalanche to occur on Mount Everest, which was responsible for the deaths of at least 19 climbers and left hundreds of others stuck at Everest Base Camp and at camps higher up the mountain. The climbers who were stationed in the higher camps were quickly airlifted down to base camp, while the remaining mountaineers either walked off the mountain or were transported to other destinations. The Nepalese government issued a state of emergency almost as soon as the earthquake struck, and within a short amount of time, practically the entire Nepalese armed forces were helping with the recovery and rescue efforts. Nepal has also made an appeal for assistance to the world community.